Welcome to Spain and the launch of a car that I think could be an absolute game changer when it arrives later this year. This car is the BYD Dolphin, and if you've been looking for a small, efficient and affordable electric car, well, this car could tick every box. But what's it like? Well, without wanting to anticipate an important format point, that's exactly what I'm about to tell you. Let's start with the basics. What is the BYD Dolphin? Well, it's a small 5-door super mini that's been on sale since 2021 in its native China. Over there it forms part of BYD's Ocean lineup of aquatic themed all-electric cars. That range includes the Seal, the Sea Lion and the Seagull. No, I'm really not making that up. Now, there was talk of this car being known as the Atto 2 in Europe and the UK, but I'm glad BYD have stuck to its guns and are continuing to call it the Dolphin, not least because I'd prepared plenty of fish puns for today. But when I told Ginny I was going to be using them, she said under no circumstances should I, because this is a serious video about a serious car. Fair enough. So you won't be hearing any of those jokes. This isn't the place to be carping on with those kind of cheap gags. Okay, let's talk about dimensions and space. The Dolphin is just over 4.2 metres long, which makes it about 200 millimetres longer than a Vauxhall Corse 3 or a Peugeot E208. But the key dimension is this, the wheelbase. 2.7 metres. That's huge. That's bigger than an Astra and the same as a Ford Focus. So what you're effectively getting with the Dolphin is you're getting a super mini sized body and a footprint, but the space inside belongs in the class above. Now, in China, BYD sells this car with two small battery packs, 30.7 and 40.9 kilowatt hours. BYD has completely re-engineered this car for Europe, so we get a bigger battery pack and we also get faster charging. Under the floor is a 60 kilowatt hour battery, which is the biggest in the super mini sector for electric. And it also features BYD's blade design, which allows for more cells to be packed into a smaller space. It also features LFP chemistry, which is more durable, it's more cheaper to produce, and it doesn't contain cobalt. The Dolphin also comes with a heat pump as standard, which means that the heating system draws far less power from the battery to warm and cool the cabin. You'll also get vehicle to load as well. As for range, well, the Dolphin comes with a WLTP range of 265 miles, which puts it ahead of all its sector rivals, most of which can only offer around 200 miles. In the real world, we'd expect the Dolphin to manage between 180 and 220 miles, depending on conditions and the kind of roads you'll be driving on. Okay, charging. Now, you can charge the Dolphin at a maximum rate of 88 kilowatts on a rapid DC charger. Now, that's not the fastest in the sector. The Peugeot E208 and the Vauxhall Corse 3 can both manage 100 kilowatts, but it's better than two of its other rivals, the Mini and the Renault Zoe, that can only manage 50 kilowatts. If you're charging on AC, the good news here as well, it will also take up to 11 kilowatts on AC. Design. Obviously, you can make your own mind up or whether you like it or not, but I will say it looks like a very neatly proportioned super mini. It pulls no tricks. It has normal size wheels, which means normal size tyres. While we're on the subject of tyres, the Dolphin has the most special named tyres I've ever heard. These are Linglong Comfort Masters. I've never heard of those. I'm sure they're very good. Other parts of the design clearly inspired by other electric cars. This reverse crease here will be very familiar if you own a Hyundai Ioniq 5. This rear quarter panel here, very similar to an i20. And if we look around the back here, this one-piece light bar is glorious, but it's very similar to the one you might find on a Mercedes EQC. But bonus points, it does come with a rear wiper. But like the Atto 3, you'll have to put up with this on the boot lid. If you're the kind of person who has a framed live, love, laugh on your wall, then you'll probably adore it. Personally, it makes my teeth itch. It's also mounted within the boot trim, so you can't even pick it off with a bit of fishing line. Inside the Dolphin, well, there's a lot going on in here. If you're a fan of Tesla minimalism, then you might be better off skipping to the next chapter. There isn't a single surface on here that hasn't been scalloped or textured or creased. It's a really busy place, but you know what? The quality is pretty good. The only thing I don't like is perhaps this drive selector and these switch gears along here, which feels a little bit cheap, but generally speaking, the driving position has plenty of adjustability. You get that 12.8 inch screen that rotates when you want it to. You also get a second display here, which is quite nice and works very clearly. These one-piece seats are really nice, like the kind you get in a Cupra Born or a facelifted ID3. It's just a really nice place to spend time. Okay, and the back of the Dolphin, well, I've got more good news for you because there's plenty of legroom For a Super Mini, that's fantastic. There's also plenty of wriggle room underneath, so you can tuck your feet under the seats in front. I'm 6'5" and I've got just about enough headroom here. The roof lining is cut away just where the back of the panoramic roof ends. There's some nice touches. There's some dual USB sockets here for plugging stuff in. There's another cup holder there. So yeah, it's pretty good in the back. Talk about boot space. The Dolphin has 345 litres of boot space in normal form. It's got another false floor here, so you can lift it out. Plenty of room under there, loads of room for cables and anything else you need to carry muddy boots. You can also fold down those rear seats. There's a 60-40 split, and when you do that, you get 1,310 litres of space in total. What's the Dolphin like to drive? Well, the very nice people at BYD have given me a few minutes in a UK spec right-hand drive car to find out what it's going to be like. Well, I'm in a car park. I can only really do 25 miles an hour, but I can certainly tell a few things already. The ride quality seems quite good over the expansion joints in this car park. The road noise seems pretty well insulated. There's a good steering lock as well, being able to turn around quite quickly. We drove this car in left-hand drive form on a handling track earlier today, and it's got a nice balance. There's a little bit, if you have it in sport, there's a little bit of a struggle for the front wheels, because 204 horsepower is quite a lot of power to put down if you're turning. But generally speaking, it's a fun car to drive. It's nice, it's comfortable, it's quiet, it's certainly going to do the job. Finally, we have the question of price. In Europe, this car will start from around €30,000, so we'd expect that to translate to an on-the-road price of around £27,000 for the entry-level model. We're expecting 3 trim levels initially, with more versions, including a smaller battery option, to come later in the product cycle. We will of course be revisiting the Dolphin when it comes to the UK later this year. There's a link to the review on electrifying.com in the description below. And if you remember to like and subscribe to the electrifying.com channel on YouTube, you'll be notified when that video lands.